That's it.
But it's only this time.
Well, then comment on that.
Yeah, I'll definitely keep an eye out.
That's sweet, right?
It is.
No, you're okay. He just said, you're not a match for that person.
I'll keep looking.
With the mascot, it's kind of hard. I'd like to welcome everyone to the combined work session, regular meeting of the Wyoming Area Board, June 30th, 2020. Will everybody please rise for the pledge of allegiance? I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please a moment of silence for Mr. Clemente, please. Thank you. Mr. Marinacci, roll call, please.
Are we waiting on 2 individuals or no?
Who's?
Lenny, you're getting your masks.
Sorry.
Give them a moment.
3 individuals.
You know they're here.
Yeah, there's 3 individuals, right?
Oh, yeah, Phil.
Phil.
No.
They ran away. They're coming.
It's nice seeing everyone's haircuts. Or back there I'm waiting until Corona's over, so I'll finally get a cut. Taking a stand.
No,
They're getting one more. Just roll call.
they're getting them, yes. Mr. Marinacci, please have roll call, please. You can do it.
Roll call, Best,
Here.
Campini,
Here.
D'Angelo,
Here.
Ola,
Here.
Valenti,
Here.
Bolin,
Here.
Yocum,
Here.
Stavko,
Here.
Marinacci, here, 9 present.
Thank you. Mr. Tom Malone, we have the presentation there.
Okay. Distance myself. We're going to do, tonight, one of the agenda items is to pass the 2021 final budget of Wyoming Area School District. To go through a short presentation. Page 2 simply gives a history from 2012, 2013 through the 1920 budget season. And we do that at each presentation, and it basically gives a synopsis of the fund balance over the period of time. What we did is we went from a fund balance of approximately at the end of 12-13, the first column of $4.3 million, where the district at the end of 18-19 is at about $2.7 million. The next couple slides will be fairly quick because this is just history of items that have already been acted upon by the board. If we go to page 3, page 3 simply summarizes the far right-hand column is back in January 28th, the district passed what was known as a preliminary budget, and the preliminary budget contained a tax increase of 4.2%, and that far right-hand column had expenditures over revenue of about $1.1 million, $1,186,000, and it showed some continuing deterioration of the fund balance. That, back in January, allowed us to apply for some exceptions that the district qualified for, where they would be able to raise taxes above the index that was given to them of 3.5. To fast forward to go to page 4, the next step occurred in May, where the district's next obligation was to pass a proposed final budget. That column was in the middle column. That was, again, already acted on in May. And at that point, the district, peeled off the tax increase of 4.2%. The highlights of this page is the tax increase was reduced to 0. And at the same time, we began to monitor the potential impacts of the pandemic in terms of financial concerns. In addition to that, we also talked about some reductions in some salary and benefit line items, but talked about an escalation in some special education costs. So page 4 is where we left off in May, and now our decision is to pass an actual final budget from the proposed. Pages 4, 5, 6, and 7 simply talk about items that were included in the proposed final budget and were already previously discussed with the board. So it brings us to page 8, where we're looking at now a proposed final budget being converted to a final budget. And for comparison purposes, at least on page 8, we have kept off the tax increase for this slide, which pretty much shows, if you stay in the middle column, that we still have operating revenues trailing expenses of about, again, operating revenues of 36.6 million, operating expenses of 38.6, a shortfall of about $1.9 million at that particular point in time. Some of the items, however, that are now put into the final budget is we have now factored in some one-time monies. There are 2 major grants that have been awarded to the district. One is an ESSA grant, which approximates about $470,000, and another is an offshoot of the public safety grant for some COVID relief. That amount was about $270,000 we're anticipating. Those numbers are factored in on the revenue side. In addition, those revenue amounts are earmarked for certain expenditures. They are designed to help get us ready for back to school. There's a large part of those grants are earmarked for additional PPE. The district has also elected to make a substantial purchase for Chromebooks with that money from that grant. And at that point, if you stayed once again in the middle column, prior to no tax increase being implemented, the district went from their proposed final of having a shortfall of 2.3 million to the shortfall of 1.9 million. On that slide, you do see on the second last item in the middle column, an increase of $900,000. Prior to pandemic, we were hoping for some positive variances throughout the year that we were hoping to be able to add back to the fund balance. That certainly has become more challenging as we speak now, but we're still confident enough that we've continued to make that fund balance adjustment. So to try to bring this to conclusion, again, page 9, 10, and 11 are simply explanatory items on how we went from the proposed final to the final. The issue that we leave the board with is really on page 13 of the presentation. So page 13 pretty much shows that if the district did nothing in terms of any potential tax increase, the first column shows a shortfall of about $1.9 million. No tax increase, all of the grant money is filtered through there, and that would result in a fund balance of about $1 million at the end of 2021. The other alternative is, and the district could theoretically go much higher than the 3.5%, but the direction we were given was to make a calculation at 3.5%, that adds in property tax revenue another $532,000. So that far right-hand column brings the shortfall from 1.9 million to approximately 1.4 million, resulting in a shortfall, in an ending fund balance, of $1,595,000. Lastly, page 14 shows a little bit of the history of a 9-year analysis of the district's property tax record. And on page 15, we've taken some assessed values, and we talked, for example, of home in Luzerne County on page 15, assessed at about $150,000. Obviously, zero increase brings nothing in addition to the homeowner, where the 3.5% increase would be approximately another $89.38. Wyoming County, to stay with the same logic, and we are a district that are in 2 counties, so there's a little bit of an imbalance and a rebalancing that's required. A 3.5% increase to Wyoming County on a home assessed at $10,000 would approximate about $17.69. The large takeaway that I need to just stress is in this amount, all of the revenue figures as guided by the PA Department of Revenue are same amounts that we utilized for the 1920 budget for our basic ed, special ed, and ready to learn grant. So those amounts, we're following the lead from the state, who has assured us that those monies will be the same, but there will be no increase. All of the contracts that are factored in on our salary and benefit for both professional and support are in at the prior year amounts, since negotiations are ongoing. So there is no allotment for that current settlement with us being in negotiations. And lastly, the large thing that I think the board would need to know is we've always had a budget with Wyoming area that approximated a contingency line item of about $225,000. We've removed that line item because of the challenges, and there's simply a contingency line item of approximately $25,000 included in the plan. So with that, there'll be various motions that are included within the finance section that I've been asked to read and include, and I can do that at that time with some explanations. But prior to that, I can entertain any questions, Mr. Stockdale, from the board and or the audience.
Any questions from the board? Any questions from the audience? Thank you, Mrs. Moore. Communication report, Mr. Marinacci, please.
Communication, Luzerne Intermediate Unit number 18, submitting minutes from their regular meeting of May 20th, 2020. Gelsomina Morricone, food service worker, submitting her letter of intent to retire. Joseph Bartoli, full-time custodian, submitting his letter of request for a medical leave of absence and intent to retire. Sherry Fairchild, Wyoming Area Girls Volleyball Parents Association, requesting permission to hold fundraisers. And Attorney David Pedri, Luzerne County Manager's Office, thanking President Bosco and the board for allowing the primary elections to take place at the Wyoming Area School District. Summary of applications received: 8 for elementary, 5 special education, 1 math, 3 special education, 2 each for social studies, speech, language, and English, and 1 for chemistry. That is communications.
Thank you very much. At this time, I'd like to ask for approval of the minutes of the combined work session regular meeting of May 26, 2020. All in favor, say aye, please. Aye. If not, approved, passes. Ms. Serena, will you read your superintendent's report, please?
Certainly. The administrative team is meeting every day to plan for return in September. We do have 3 separate plans, and we will be presenting those to you as soon as all of the plans are completed with all of the details. That concludes my report.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Ms. Serena. Attorney Ferrantino, will you please give your report?
I will. Thank you, Mr. President. We have met on several occasions in executive session, and I do have the specific dates. We met in executive session. We have, as Mr. Stopko had indicated in our budget presentation, we have ongoing negotiations with both our support staff as well as our professional teachers staff With that, we met in executive session on May 26th, June 11th, June 18th, and June 25th. And the substance of those meetings were negotiations and strategy with negotiations.
Thank you.
Concludes my report.
Thank you, Mr. Ferrantino. Mr. Bowen, will you please read the treasurer's report?
Yes. The Treasurer's Report as of Tuesday, June 30, 2020. First National Community Bank General Fund, $4,581,149.49. First National Community Bank Payroll Account, $5,853.49. First National Community Bank Cafeteria Account, $25,710.99. First National Community Bank Student Activities Account, $110,274.09. First National Community Bank Athletic Fund Account, $32,539.57. First National Community Bank Purchasing Account, $500. Pennsylvania Local Government Investment Trust General Fund Account, $1,132,040.84. First National Community Bank Series 2018 GON account, $1,280,972.87. That is the Treasurer's Report.
Thank you very much, Mr. Bowen. Mr. Malone, will you read the finance report, please?
Okay, finance report. Number one, received the following checks as listed from Berkheimer Associates totaling $379,357.40. Acknowledging state and federal subsidy payments as listed from Pennsylvania Department of Education totaling $115,884.79. Local realty transfer tax, Luzerne County, $19,347.14. Number two, approve the June payment of $123,073.42 to the Luzerne Intermediate Unit in accordance with the terms of the approved contract for special education services and other related services for the 1920 school year. Approve the June payment of $52,153.30 to the Westside Career and Technology Center for the 1920 school year. Approve the June payment of $6,666.67 to the Luzerne Intermediate Unit for Liberty Academy Dual Diagnosis Services for the 1920 school year. Approve the meal prices for the 2021 school year as listed. It should be noted, no increases from last year. Number six, approve the intergovernmental agreement for special education services with the Northeastern Intermediate Unit 19 for the 2021 school year. Number seven, approve the budgeted ambulance contribution for the 1920 school year, $300 to the Greater Pittston Regional Ambulance. Number eight, approve the agreement with New Story for 2021 school year at a rate of $255 per student per day. Number nine, approve the payment of $28,518.50 to the Luzerne Intermediate Unit for ESL services for August through November in the amount of $28,518.50. Number 10, approve the payment of $16,144.50 to Luzerne Intermediate Unit number 18 for ESL instructional hours for December through February in the amount of $16,144.50. Number 11, approve the payment of $26,231.50 to the Luzerne Intermediate Unit 18 for ESL instructional hours for March through June in the amount of $26,231.50. Number 12, approve the Pennsylvania School-Based Access Program Local Education Agency Agreement to participate for the school year 2021. Okay, the next three items are relative to the budget presentation. The first budget, item number 13, is reading the budget that includes a property tax increase of the index of 3.5%. So I'll read that. That is to approve the final general fund budget for 2021 school year and authorize the secretary of the board to advertise the budget notice of the adoption of the final general fund budget according to law. The final general fund budget provides for expenditures of $38,603,769 and equity and revenues of a like amount, and reflects a tax of 17.5554 mils for the borough of Exeter, Exeter Township, Luzerne County, West Pittston, West Wyoming, and Wyoming per 1,000 of assessed valuation on real estate, and a tax of 84.2951 mils for Exeter Township, Wyoming County per $1,000 of assessed valuation. The budget also maintains the following: a per capita tax of $5 on all persons over 21 years of age who are residents or inhabitants of the school district under the authority of the Act of March 10, 1949, Public Law 30, Article 6, Section 679, and its amendments, and additional per capita of $5 per person for all persons over 21 years of age who are residents or inhabitants of Exeter, Exeter Township, Luzerne County, Exeter Township, Wyoming County, West Pittston, West Wyoming, and Wyoming under the authority of Act 511 and its amendments. The foregoing being applicable to taxpayers less than 65 years of age, and a local service tax for individuals formerly called the occupational privilege tax within the Wyoming area school boundaries. Real estate transfer tax 1%, and wage and earned income tax of 1%. Item number 14, I'm simply going to read, and then I'll do an explanation rather than to read the entire resolution. But the board is asked to approve the attached resolution establishing property tax calendar and installment dates as listed. The executive summary of that is, this is the motion that allows the district to set its tax calendar, and the district will be collecting at face value for property taxes through November 30th of 2020, and taxpayers will have the ability to take a 2% discount if property taxes are paid before September 30th, 2020. After November 30th, all taxes will be assessed a 10% penalty and is payable through December 31st, 2020. Subsequent to December 31st, 2020, the school district will turn delinquent taxes over to Luzerne County for collection. Also, the resolution allows for installment payment dates for certain individuals that have applied for the homestead, farmstead, where you can pay your installments over 3 dates. Those dates are September 2nd, October 28th, and November 30th. So again, that motion is designed to do that. It also talks about some language on when items are turned over for collection and what happens if an installment method is elected but is paid late. Item 15 is a lengthy resolution that I may need to read because some numbers need to be put in there, but I can go fairly quick through that. This is the resolution that allows the district to establish how much of a reduction could appear on a property tax bill for individuals that have elected the homestead exemption. So I'll read this, if I may, the resolution for number 15. Approve the attached resolution designed to implement the homestead farmstead exclusions as mandated by Act 1. 1. Aggregate amount available for homestead and farmstead real estate tax reduction. The following amounts are available for homestead and farmstead real estate tax reduction for the school year beginning July 1st, 20. Gaming tax funds. The Pennsylvania Department of Education has notified the school district that PDE will pay to the district during the school year pursuant to Act 153 at a property tax reduction allocation funded by gaming tax funds, the amount of $464,630.50. 1B, Philadelphia tax credit reimbursement. PDE has notified the school district that PDE will pay to the district during the school year pursuant to Act 1 as stated as reimbursement for Philadelphia tax credits claimed against the district's earned income tax by resident taxpayers, the amount of $5,734.80. Letter E, Aggregate amount available, adding these amounts, the aggregate amount available for school year for real estate tax reduction is $470,365.30. Number 2, homestead farmstead numbers. Pursuant to Act 50 as stated, the county has provided the school district with a certified report listing approved homestead and approved farmsteads as follows. Homestead property numbers, the number of approved homesteads within the school district is 5,056. Farmstead property number, the number of approved farmsteads within the school district is 6. Homestead, farmstead combined numbers, adding these numbers, the aggregate number of homestead and approved farmstead is 5,062. Real estate tax reduction calculation. The school board has decided that the homestead exclusion amount and the farmstead exclusion shall be equal. Dividing paragraph 1C, the aggregate amount available during the school year for the real estate tax reduction of $470,365.30 by the aggregate number of approved homestead and approved farmsteads of 5,062. The maximum real estate tax reduction amount applicable to each homestead, approved homestead, and to each approved farmstead is $92.92. Homestead farmstead exclusion calculation. Dividing the paragraph 3 maximum of real estate reduction amount of $92.92 by the real estate tax rate of 17.554 mils at a tax rate of 0.0175554 for Luzerne County, the maximum real estate assessed value reduction to be reflected on tax notices as a homestead and farmstead exclusion for each approved homestead and farmstead for Luzerne County is $5,292.96. Number 5, the homestead farmstead exclusion calculation. Dividing paragraph 3 maximum of real estate reduction of $92.92 by the school district real estate tax rate of 84.2951 mils or 0.0842951 for Wyoming County. The maximum real estate reduction to be reflected on tax notices as a homestead farmstead exclusion for each approved homestead and farmstead for Wyoming County is $1,102.32. Number 6, homestead farmstead exclusion authorizations regarding July 1 tax bill. The tax notice issued to the owner of each approved homestead and farmstead within the school district shall reflect a homestead and farmstead exclusion, real estate assessed value reduction equal to the lesser of the county established assessed value of homestead farmstead, or paragraph 4 maximum real estate assessed valuation of $5,296 for Luzerne County. For purposes of this resolution, approved homestead and approved farmstead shall mean homesteads and farmsteads listed in the report offered in paragraph 2 above and received by the school district from the county assessment office on or before May 1st pursuant to Act 1 as listed, based on homestead farmstead applications filed with the county assessment office as of March 1st. This paragraph 6 will apply to tax notices issued on the initial tax duplicate used in issuing initial real estate tax notices for the school year, which will be issued on or promptly after July 1 and will not apply to interim real estate bills. Number 7, homestead farmstead exclusion authorization, July 1 tax bills. The tax notice issued to the owner of each approved homestead farmstead within the school district shall reflect a homestead farmstead exclusion real estate assessed value reduction equal to the lesser of A, the county established assessed value of solution approved homestead farmstead shall mean homestead and farmsteads listed in the report referred to in paragraph 2 above and received from the school district from the county assessment office on or before May 1 pursuant to Act 1 as listed based on homestead farmstead applications filed with the county assessment office on or before March 1. This paragraph 7 will apply to tax notices based on the initial tax duplicate used in issuing initial real estate tax notices for the school year, which will be issued on or promptly after July 1 and will not apply to interim bills. That would conclude the motions relative to the budget for the index and also for the homestead farmstead exclusion of $92 $1,000,000.92. Number 16, approve retroactively the Westside Career and Technology Center based for a budget for the 2021 school year. Approve the following payments for services relative to the roof project as listed, totaling $433,488.13. Approve a refund of paid taxes in the amount of $204.43 for PIN number 67-E10SE3-010042 for the year 2019. Approve the general fund ledger sheets as listed, totaling $688,486.77. Approve cafeteria amount in the amount of $1,363.75, totaling total general ledger payments of $689,850.52.
At this time, I'll make a motion to accept the finance report. Are there any questions from the board? Any questions
I
from
have
the?
a question.
Go ahead.
Mr. Malone, item number 14, the full payment of the face value of the property taxes,
Yes, sir.
can that be moved back to the end of the year, December 31?
Yes, there is a possibility of moving the penalty phase if the board wished beyond that amount. And how you do that is you would adopt the same resolution. It would simply be amended if the majority of the board wished to calculate the penalty for this year at 0% rather than 10%. That effectively would give you to pay face during the entire amount if the board so elected. For point of reference, it probably brings in the penalty for the school district based on prior year collections of about $40,000 of additional revenue is what the penalty brings us in.
Can we, Mr. President, can we,
Would you like to have a motion?
I would like to make a motion to extend the face value to December 31, 2020.
I'll second that.
On the motion.
And Mr. Bowler, I just want to be clear, and we can do that, but we'll be extending the face by dropping the penalty to 0%, which does the same thing.
Correct.
It gets you the same one. I just wanted to make
Okay.
that clear.
On the motion. Let's take a vote. Mr. Marinacci?
Okay, Best,
Yes.
Campenny,
Yes.
D'Angelo,
Yes.
Perbola,
Yes.
Valenti,
Yes.
Bolin,
Yes.
Yocum,
Yes.
Stoffel,
Yes.
Marinacci, yes, 9 yeses. Extend the phase through December.
Questions from the audience, please? Roll call, please.
Okay, roll call on the rest of the
Yes.
finance report. Best,
Yes on everything except 13, that's a no.
no on number 13. Campenny,
Yes.
D'Angelo,
Yes.
Perbola,
Yes.
Valenti,
No on 13, yes on everything else.
Bolin,
No on item 13 and yes on every other item.
Yocum,
Yes.
Stoffel,
Yes.
Marinacci, no on number 13. Yes on all else. Finance report passes.
Mr. Campenny, will you read the education report, please?
Education report. Number 1, reporting as per federal regulations, requirements that the district's federal program, Title I, Title II, in drugs and alcohol are currently being planned for the 2020-2021 school year. Anyone desiring information regarding these programs, please contact Janice Serino, Superintendent, at the district's business center. Approve the appointment of the following extracurricular positions for the 2020-2021 school year. Lauren Weedle, Special Education Chairperson, Marion Pikus, Social Studies Chairperson, Joe Pisano, Physical Education Chairperson, Erica Bartoli, Career Technology Chairperson, Melissa Hosey, art chairperson, Carmen Latona, English chairperson, Christine Marinacci, foreign language chairperson, Shay Riley, music chairperson, Brian Butler, guidance chairperson, Charlene Birdie, library chairperson, Nicole Biago, nurse chairperson, Leo Lowitz, math chairperson, David Pisano, science chairperson, Thomas Loftus, family consumer science chairperson. Leo Lola, senior class co-advisor, Paula Cecil, senior class co-advisor, Christina Anderson, junior class co-advisor, Ashley Evans, junior class co-advisor, Carmela Argento, sophomore class advisor, Maureen Pikus, freshman class advisor, Leo Lolowitz, student council advisor, Josette Cepalo, assistant student council advisor, Josette Cepalo, class day advisor, Damian Rakowski, Key Club advisor, Lisa Day, FBLA co-advisor, Chris Zazinski, FBLA co-advisor, Christine Rutledge, National Honor Society advisor, Maureen Pikus, National History Day advisor, Mike Fonte, director of intramurals, Joe Pisano, athletic director, Charles Yarmy, drama advisor, Catherine Mangan, assistant drama advisor, Angelo Buffalino, marching band director, Christine Rutledge, Builders Club advisor, Kayla Kalura, yearbook advisor. Number 3, approve it to authorize the secretary of the board to post and or advertise for the following positions for the 2020-2021 school year. 1 4th grade elementary teacher, 1 health physical education teacher, and 1 level 1 secretary replacing Paula Dinesco. Number 4, approve the appointment of, we're going to table number 4. And number 5,
We weren't tabling that. We weren't tabling
we're
it.
not tabling?
Nope. Okay.
We were supposed to do the ISS.
Okay. Approve the appointment of Kayla Radel as a long-term substitute Title I reading teacher for Carol Cabot until the end of the first semester of the 2020-2021 school year. Number 5, approve to authorize the secretary of the board to post and or advertise the position of an in-school suspension monitor. That's the education report. I make a motion to accept the education.
Second. Are there any questions from the board? Are there any questions from the audience?
Mr. President, just a point of clarification under the department chairs for social studies, math, science, and English. So that those are not just 9 through 12. Those are for the entire secondary center, 7 through 12.
So
Which
7 through
one?
12,
So
all of them.
Maureen?
Mr. Lovowitz, Mrs. Pikus, Mr. Latono,
Okay.
and Mr. Latona and Mr. Dave Pisano. Those chairpersonships are for 7 through 12.
Okay,
not just-
we'll make a notation of that, please. Are there any, roll call, please?
Roll call, Best.
Yes.
And Penny?
No on number 5, yes on the rest.
D'Angelo?
Yes.
Revola?
Yes.
Valenti?
Yes.
Boland?
No on number 5 and yes on the other items.
Yocum?
Yeah.
Stasso?
Yes.
Marinacci, no on number 5, yes, all else.
Mr. D'Angelo, will you please read the activities report?
Approved the Wyoming Area School District Athletic Resource Socialization of Sports Recommendations. Approved the appointments of the following head coaches for the 2020-2021 fall sports season as listed. Approved the 2020 summer recreation program to take place at the stadium and weight room July 1st, 2020 to July 31st, 2020, pending CDC COVID-19 guidelines. Approve the appointments of the following coaches for the 2020 summer recreation program as listed. Approve the proposal with Geisinger Orthopedics and Sports Medicine with the athletic training services for the Wyoming Area School District pending final review by the school solicitor and the athletic director. Approve the request of Sherry Fairchild, Wyoming Area Girls Volleyball Parents Association to hold fundraising, the following fundraisers pending CDC COVID-19 guidelines as listed. And that is the athletics. Make a motion?
Second.
Are there any questions from the board? Are there any questions from the audience? Mr. Marinacci, please, roll call.
Roll call, Best,
Yes.
Campany,
I am going to abstain, number 6, the car wash, but yes to everything else on the report.
D'Angelo,
Yes.
Verbola,
Yes.
Valenti,
Yes.
Boland,
Yes.
Yocum,
Yes.
Stoffco,
Yes.
Marinacci, yes. Activity passed.
Building report. Acceptfully regret the Multnomah County letter of intent to retire as food service worker retroactive to June 5th, 2020. 2, approve the request of Joseph Bartolo to take a medical leave of absence as a full-time custodian effective July 20th, 2020 through December 18th, 2020, with intent to retire effective December 21st, 2020. I make a motion.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Roll call, Best,
Yes.
Campany,
Yes.
D'Angelo,
Yes.
Verbola,
Yes.
Valenti,
Yes.
Boland,
Yes.
Yocum,
Yes.
Stoffco,
Yes.
Marinacci, yes. 9 yes.
Ms. Valenti, will you please read the policy report?
Yes. And number 1, approve the second reading of attachments to policy number 335, family and medical leave. Number 2, approve the second reading of revised policy number 626, federal fiscal compliance. 3, approve the second reading of revised policy number 805.2, school security personnel. And number 4, approve the first reading of the revised policy section 000, local board procedures. I make a motion that you accept.
Second.
Are there any questions from the board? Are there any questions from the audience? Roll call, please.
Roll call, Best,
Yes.
Campany,
Yes.
D'Angelo,
Yes.
Verbola,
Yes.
Valenti,
Yes.
Boland,
Yes.
Yocum,
Yes.
Stoffco,
Yes.
Marinacci, yes. 9 yes.
I'll open the floor up for open discussion for the board, please. Any discussion from the floor, please? Anybody from the floor?
Hi, yeah, Mark Pakovich. I
Would
just
you
had a-
please come up to the,
Okay. This has to be official. I just wanted clarification, Mark Pakovich. In terms of the plan going forward, you have 3 plans that you're discussing with the faculty.
Mhm.
And so those proposals would be made public at the next board meeting, or the final decision will be made public?
The final decision and the proposals will be made public.
Okay.
We'll also be posting them. I mean, what I can tell you so far is we're looking, if we are open completely, that all of our students would be back here. If we're in green and we can't open completely, we would be looking at a hybrid and alternating
right.
students coming in. And if we end up somehow going back to yellow, every one of our students is going to be given a Chromebook so that we can move forward, and we're no longer going to be using Edgenuity Odyssey, where we would be moving to Google Classroom so that the students would have instruction at home. So that's the direction we're going right now. But I think what's also important for you to understand is one of the things that we've done is we actually did get some grant money for protective devices for our students. We have actually ordered for every one of our students a desk shield. So every student is going to have a desk shield that if they're leaving and going to another class, they could actually take that with them. For the high school, it's 18 inches high. For the elementary, it's 14 to 16 inches high. We're ordering those for our secretaries as well. And we're also ordering masks with our grant that have the mouth clear, although it will be a plastic, so that the children can see the mouths of their teachers as they're speaking on the elementary level. So there's a lot of things going on. We've been troubleshooting everything. I promise you, once it's up, and if you have any further questions, just call me and I'd be happy to share that with you.
Okay,
Okay.
great. So everything's still on the table, all 3 options are still.
Absolutely. And
potential.
one is going to be
if we're completely clear, obviously we're bringing everybody back. If we're still in green, we have to social distance. So then there's another plan. And if somehow, we hope not, that Pennsylvania ends up going back into a yellow position, we're at least covered to say, we know what we're going to do with our children if we have to and if we can't bring them in.
Right.
So we're covering everything.
And as far as extracurricular activities, that would be based on the outcome of the plans and
Right.
the fluctuating CDC guidelines.
Right. And the resolution was just passed tonight for sports. They can start tomorrow since that was with all of the plans in place as to what they need to do. And there's a lot of things that are going into that. So that'll be posted for you as well.
Sure.
Okay?
Okay, thank you.
Absolutely.
Are there any further questions from the floor? There are no further questions. Jarvin, please.
Second.